Welcome to the Crunch Time Instagram Live podcast, hosted by me, Benjamin Bullock. This podcast features nothing but real talk analysis and conversations about sports, entertainment, news, and much more. Now, strap in and buckle your seatbelts because it's time for Crunch Time. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of the Crunch Time Instagram Live podcast. I'm your host, Benjamin Bullock. I want to thank you guys for joining me here on this Wednesday evening in August. I just want to thank you guys. Hope all is well with y'all respectable areas within the country. So for this week, I kind of took a different approach in regards to what I wanted to do. So I wanted to focus on like the behind the scenes aspect when it comes to building the brand of athletes. So I have Chanelle Smith-Walker, who's the director of creative media for the North Carolina State football team out of the ACC Power 5 conference. Also, I have TJ Malveaux, who's a celebrity barber, athlete barber out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's the owner of Picks Barbershop. He cuts a lot of the LSU guys and a lot of New Orleans Saints guys and guys within the league, also in college as well. And then lastly, I have my girl Tiff The Zeta out of Dallas, Texas, Pleasant Grove to be exact, for all my Dallas people out there. She's a celebrity stylist in the fashion game. She works with a lot of athletes and a lot of people within the industry to make sure they're right and they're good in regards to making sure they look right when the camera's on and everything. So that was my focus for this week. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a different focus or whatever, so I hope y'all enjoy it. So we're going to get started. I'm going to add Chanelle here real quick. Chanelle, what's going on? What's going on?
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing? You all right down there in Raleigh?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited.
You excited? Y'all going to have a season or what y'all going to do?
We are having a season, so well, fingers crossed we have a season because we all still want to get paid. So.
Oh yeah. I know it's tough for you guys. How's it tough has it been for just everybody within the department, and I know everybody within the creative community as well?
Honestly, I feel like from the creative standpoint, it's kind of like amplified our jobs even more with like COVID, because especially from the recruiting side of it, because we can't have recruits on campus. So, so we're just sending in like a bunch of content, and then even creating the content, it's a little difficult just because like we don't have photos of them, so you're kind of having to just get a lot more creative on how to like kind of like give a variety of different content and graphics to your recruits. But it's been good though. We started fall camp from the football side of it. We started fall camp. Been practicing. It's been great, like shooting actual football, not just like in the weight room or just running sprints. So it's been cool.
That's cool. So for those who are unfamiliar with your job duties, I know a lot of people don't, because people ask like, what do you do for football? You're not a coach, you're not a trainer or anything. So just kind of tell all the listeners who aren't familiar what you do as the director of creative media for North Carolina State football.
So I basically do all of our creative content when it comes to graphics, between social content and recruiting content. But I also do our like recruit photo shoots, player photo shoots. I also cover any like football events that we have, if it's community service, anything like that. And then I also like oversee our creative stuff that's made between marketing and our video content as well. I work with Emmett, who's the assistant creative director. He does our video content, but my role encompasses a lot of different things, but it's fun. It is, you have to juggle a lot and balance a lot of things, but it's fun.
That's cool. So in regards to brand building specifically, what goes into your strategy, like in terms of you creating, I like the video I just posted to Instagram and Twitter. I mean, that was pretty dope what you did with that.
So Emmett actually did the hype video leading up to fall camp, that one. So Emmett actually did that one, which that one was super, super dope. But overall, like our strategy for just our content is just to make it fun and youthful, to be honest, and just different. So I think my style when it comes to just creative in general is always taking that risk, whether it's video, whether it's graphics, whether it's just like just content in general, just taking a risk and just always living life on the edge when it comes to creative content. So even last year, we couldn't do camp arrivals this year because of COVID, but last year we did the camp arrivals, and we did like the Rolls Royce and things like that when our players pulled up, and everyone thought it was like this big compliance violation, but it actually wasn't.
Gotta check in with compliance. Gotta check in with compliance.
Just taking those risks, exactly. But compliance I actually went to compliance and made sure it was good to go before we like did anything. But just like taking risks like that and finding different ways just to get your players involved as much as possible is another thing for me, is always humanizing our players. So not necessarily making everything so football related, but showing what they do outside of football, whether it's graduating, whether they like to play the piano, like we did a feature on our player a couple months ago and things like that. So that's kind of just like our overall strategy.
That's great, man. You guys do a phenomenal job. I personally like the way y'all do stuff. I mean, it's just that red, white, and black. That's like one of my favorite colors to see on screen or on the computer, because it pops so much. It's so vibrant and everything. For real, y'all do a great job. You know, so you spent some time at Southern Miss and Baylor before you got to North Carolina State, but you were also a student athlete at Elon. You played volleyball and everything. So how has your experience as a student athlete affect the way you approach your job right now?
It honestly gives me more motivation to really like share these athlete stories. I kind of touched on this earlier, but it honestly really pushes me to want to humanize the players, to show that they are bigger than just athletes. Especially on like the female sports. I'm not on any of the women's sports here at NC State. I'm just with football. But when I was at Southern Miss, I had all the sports, and then when I was at Baylor, I was with women's basketball and women's volleyball before I moved over to football. And for the women's sports, I honestly just want to give them as much dope content as possible, because I feel like they don't get the recognition that they deserve, especially at Baylor. Like our women's volleyball and our women's basketball were like insane, at least like top 10 all the time. So my goal was to always just kind of give them the recognition that they deserve. But then also being a Black female, I think it helps that, well, not just being a Black female, just being a Black creative in general helps a ton, because I'm able to really work on like not making our athletes look super dark, like subtle things like that people don't realize that, because I hated that when I was playing, where they would like post a graphic or something and I would look so Black, and I was like, they would like, you look really, really dark, and it always used to drive me insane. So that's the one thing, like I try to help out when I am working with any sport, is to make sure that they are true to their skin color. If I am using their picture in color and things like that. So those subtle things that I kind of had an issue with when I was playing kind of helped me out to how I want to represent our athletes when I'm making graphics and videos of them and taking photos of them.
Did that particular, I guess, misjudgment help? Did that drive you to want to be a creative designer? Did that kind of stuff kind of just like, I want to give African Americans, especially females, a different viewpoint in terms of this, or even just the little critique stuff like that?
Yeah, that definitely motivated me more to really want to get into just creative. And I just love to make people feel good. So when I like create a cool graphic or take a really great picture of somebody, that's definitely what motivated me. But the skin tone color, honestly, that's a pet peeve that bothers me to this day. When I see a lot of creatives like make these athletes look super, super dark. And it really bothers me about that. So that's like the main reason I'm just like, I want to be a person of color in this industry to really make sure they're representing their skin color properly. Because I know, like, I hate to say for white people, they want to look tan, but Black people want to look true to their color.
Yeah, true.
So if they are light skinned, they want to look light skinned. If they're brown skinned, they want to look brown skinned. They don't want to be brown skinned but look like they're like white, or they don't want to be like dark skinned and look like they're like Black, like solid Black. So yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Have you talked to any of your fellow coworkers about that, or any of your colleagues within the industry about that?
So yeah, so I mentioned it on a few panels, just about just like acknowledging and being aware of like making sure you're not changing their skin color. So whether with the treatment you use, the filter you use, just making sure it's representative of their actual skin color. So you're not making them darker or lighter than what they actually are. And we actually had an issue with Baylor with it was actually before I got there, but that was one of the things that they brought to my attention with the volleyball team, was that their issue before, one of the parents actually called in with their schedule posted where they felt like their daughter looked a lot darker than they actually were. So it was perfect for me because I'm a Black female who also played volleyball in college. So, I was like, I will make sure like you look the color that you actually are. And it sounds so small, but it's actually a pet peeve of mine, being a Black person that was an athlete. I'm like, it make me look like my actual skin color. So yeah.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy. So this is Chanelle Smith Walker out of NC State. She's the director of creative media for the Wolfpack out there at the ACC. So next season, starting 21-22, the NCAA is going to allow athletes to profit off their likeness, be able to get endorsements, that kind of thing. How is that going to affect your job and the way you approach it and everything?
the name, image, and likeness is so difficult because there honestly, people don't realize there are so many layers to it. Like there's so many perspectives, like from the creative aspect of it, from the player aspect, and from the business side of it. And you truthfully don't really know like how it's going to affect people. I personally only think it's going to affect like the top tier athletes, athletes that are in college football. But from the creative standpoint, I definitely think it's gonna. First, I feel like it's gonna open a lot more jobs for creatives in college football because to me that's a whole separate market outside of it is in recruiting, but it's all to me it's a whole separate part of recruiting because you're having to do the analytics behind it, even the player content that you're giving your current players. How are they using their social media? How active are they on their social media? What's their interactions, mentions, things like that. So I feel like it's one of those things where I think it's going to be a whole separate subcategory eventually, I think over time. But then I definitely think from a creative standpoint, it's going to amplify our jobs even more, just like creating more and more content because now we're having to really create content for our players just to post. Not even stuff that's going on like our actual football page, but like stuff that our players are actually going to post, whether it's video, graphics, photos, or things like that. So I feel like it's a lot, and there's so many unknowns that you can't really give like a solid answer because I've had a lot of like other people in my role like ask me like, hey, how are you guys like implementing this? And I'm like, it's really hard to answer that because we just don't have the staff to fully go like fully into the NIL, but it's crazy.
It's gonna be crazy because and when I think about that kind of stuff, I think about like like the smaller sports like cross country, volleyball, track and field, little sports like that. Will they be able to like how's that chain actually going to work in regards to making sure they get the right compensation for whatever they're able to accomplish. So like I said, this is Chanelle Smith Walker at NC State. If you have any questions for her, we're gonna drop it right down in the comment section. I'll get to that here in a couple of minutes. So ultimately, what's the most important aspect when it comes to building a brand, in your opinion?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think building your brand for one is what your voice is going to be. So I think if you want to have like this, like really, I feel like you should really show your personality with any brand that you have. I know some people like to cap and like they're this person on social media, but then they're different in reality. So I definitely feel like with building your brand and a truthful brand that people are actually going to appreciate and respect, I feel like your tone and energy on social media needs to match how you are in person. Then also, I think the biggest thing about building a brand is just being consistent on how active you are when it comes to social media content. I think we struggle with our players a lot with this. Is they want to build this brand or want to be verified, but it's like you're never active on social media. You post like once a month. It's like you can't really build a brand or want someone to build a following if you're never active or interacting with people on your page. So I think that's the biggest thing with a brand is the content you're posting. Also, make sure you're interacting and really just getting your name out there. I feel like personally, I feel like that's even how I've helped build my brand. It's just like, I'm not necessarily posting my work all the time, but I am going to show you that I do have a work-life balance, and I'm still a younger female in the industry that I have a life, but I also like to make cool stuff as well. And so I feel like that's my brand, and I'm not going to change who I am just to fit your narrative. So.
You kind of touched on a little bit on my next question. You being in the position that you're in right now, young black female, head of a creative department of football, the top dog in an NCAA department. How does it feel to be in the position where you at right now?
It feels good. It honestly is crazy. So I definitely appreciated where I am right now 100% because I started at like nothing. I didn't have any connections in the creative industry and athletics besides being a college athlete. But I think for me, I honestly didn't really realize how impactful me being in this role was till the quarantine started, to be honest. And that's when like I had a lot of young people like email me or DM me, just like saying like, hey, like it's great to see someone that looks like me in your role. And so that's like something that I like really like take with pride, and like I'll get like DMs all the time, just like saying thank you and things like that. And so that's one of those things where it's like it kind of motivates me more to want to be good. It doesn't honestly. People say like it would add pressure, but it honestly doesn't add pressure to me. It inspires me more to like just to wanna keep going and just keep pushing the limit and be someone that looks different than like everybody else in the industry. So it's been fun. It's been crazy. Like it's like mind blowing that people actually are like they're like, oh, I look up to you. And I'm like, really? Because I feel like I'm still in my 20s. So I'm just like, like, you look up to me? Like, what? So it's crazy.
Hey, I get that same thing too. But really, man, you do a phenomenal job of what you do. You're a dope designer. You have a dope creative mind. I think we've been following each other for a while. This is like within the last couple of days, the first time we actually had some real dialogue conversation going one-on-one. So it's been pretty dope. So we got one question from my friend out of Washington, D.C. Her name is Alma Burke. You might be able to, I'm not sure if you might be able to answer this, but will students be allowed to get endorsements while in school? That kind of refers back to our next season. When they'll be
like regular students or like athletes?
As student athletes, that's what she means.
Oh, as student athletes? Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure from what I've been talking with other people, you did say student athletes, right?
Yes.
For a second. Okay. I'm pretty sure what I have heard is that they will be able to get endorsements. But that's the dilemma that ACC and everyone just is in question of. For instance, like if NC State were an Adidas school and Under Armour comes to one of our players and it's like, oh, we want to endorse this player, it's kind of like a conflict of interest because we're an Adidas school, but they want them to wear like Under Armour cleats.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's still like, it's that gray area if you really don't know how it's going to impact, or are there going to be rules on players can't do like clothing endorsements or things like that. What they can and can't endorse is still up in the air. So I know they can get endorsements, but it's just there's really no set guidelines on what their endorsements can actually be, whether it's clothing or anything like that. Because that was one of the questions actually brought up with just the clothing. Like if we're in Adidas school and Under Armour comes, like what's the plan then? So
cool. We have one more question to be the last one before I get TJ on here. This is from Danielle Smith. What's some advice for undergraduate students that aspire to get to where you're at right
now? I would say practice. I'll tell anyone. I get questions all the time about how did you become good at graphic design, and it's all about practice. There's never. It's not just going to happen overnight. Like I even look at graphics I did like a couple months ago. I'm just like, ew, I hated that. So it's all about practice. It really.
Like everybody's like that. Everybody's like that. Yeah.
It's all about practice, and it's all about getting your stuff out there, just meeting people. It's not necessarily about applying. It's definitely about applying for jobs, but also about networking. It's who you know. Both my last two jobs, literally came from DMs on Twitter, just from seeing my work. So just getting out there, being active and practicing is the biggest thing. Make projects up for yourself. That's literally all I did is make projects up for myself, just to test to see how far I can go, and then also find designers who are better than you. And that you think are better than you, and really just like compare your work and get constructive feedback, because that's what I still talk to people I work with at Baylor and Southern Miss, and I'm like, can you take a look at my work and let me know what you think? So
I'm the same way. I'm still the same way. I'm just never satisfied with my work. I'm pretty sure you're the same way too.
Yeah.
So hey, Chanelle, thank you so much, for joining me. This is a great conversation. We're gonna have to do this again, and good luck to you this year. I hope that hope that we do have football. If not, I know you're going to continue to be creative and pump out great content for NC State.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm laughing at the comment.
No, you're good. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Bye.
All right, now. All right, guys, that was Chanelle Smith-Walker out of NC State. She's the director of creative media for the football team out there in Raleigh, North Carolina, out of the ACC. So coming up next, I'm very excited about this one, man. This is a different spin. I got my man TJ Malveaux. He's a barber and also the owner of Picks Barbershop out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I call him the unofficial barber of LSU athletics because he cuts everybody pretty much on the football team, basketball team, may have some baseball guys roll through there. This dude even cut some of the football coaches, not Coach O, but some of the guys as well. So I'm very excited about this one, man. Let me go ahead and add him real quick. TJ, what's cracking, boy?
How much, man? What's going on?
What's going on, man? Hey, that barbershop look clean over there, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, no problem. Hey, bro, I'm good, man. You see me always grinding out here, man. I just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me, man.
Oh, man, anytime.
Appreciate it, man. So for those who don't know, this is TJ Malveaux, owner, barber at Picks Barbershop based out of Baton Rouge. TJ, man, just kind of give people a backstory about our relationship. I think I moved to Baton Rouge in 2016, and it was the day before the Wisconsin game. We left for that game. It was when I was working at LSU. And I was going through Instagram, typing in hashtags, Louisiana barbers, Baton Rouge barbers, your name came up. I was like, okay, let me check this dude out. Come to find out, you was cutting all the players. I'm like, okay, if all the players go to this guy, I'm gonna come to this guy. But luckily, this is before you really started to get booked up. I got in there, man. You cut me up, and I was with you for all that throughout my duration down there in Baton Rouge, man.
For real, man. I appreciate that too, man.
Hey, no problem, man. So let's hop into this thing, man. So, from your perspective, how do you build an athlete's brand? What role do you play in regards to that?
Well, with it, let's speak specifically with LSU. So, okay,
Right.
Baton Rouge, these guys are like celebrities out here. You know what I mean? Their social media presence is enormous. I'm kind of like so you say like the first, say if you're trying to go somewhere, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna find you something to wear, and you're gonna make sure your hair is,
Right.
is right. You know what I
Right.
mean? And a lot of these athletes, they're represented by multi-million-dollar companies. You know what I mean? They're in the media 24/7. For college, there's media days. There's all kind of stuff, man. So, they just want to be, my job is to make sure they're fresh all the time. They set trends as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have a huge following, so setting trends is a part of their kind of like a part of their job. You know what I mean?
Right. So what tell me about the plan to get to where you are right now? Because I know you went to Grambling back in the early 2000s, played Kappa Alpha Psi, did all that back then. But so what was your plan to get to where you at right now?
Actually, I was always the guy. I come from a small town, man. So I was always the guy that was looking at TV, could never thought I'd be a part of nothing like this. So I was always looking at TV, looking at guys' hair. Like, man, if I was in a position, So in 2013, we ended up moving to Baton Rouge, and it really wasn't a plan, man. But I had a homeboy of mine who was running track.
Right.
Vernon Norwood, and Vernon, he introduced me to a lot of athletes. And Kenny Hilton also was, he was a running back on the football team.
Okay.
And he introduced me, and then it kind of took off. And then I saw the position to where I was like, okay, they put me in position to be, the guy. So I just kind of took advantage of it.
That's cool, man. So so that's pretty much how you became the unofficial barber of LSU athletics, I guess. What year was that?
I moved in 2013. I would have to say it probably started really taking off. Well, in 2013, probably 14, that's when kind of slowly started taking off. And then by 2015, it was like a done thing.
Bro, I'm telling you. As I know firsthand experience, that thing is crazy, man. So how were you able to build such good relationships with like Jamal Adams, Tre'Davious Wright, Devon Gottschall, Devin White, all these guys who are young, and they really just got into the league?
Yeah, well, they're here as freshmen. You know what I mean? They come in as freshmen, and a lot of the guys is like, go to TJ, go to TJ, go to TJ. So all these players start, they start coming in, and just, through the years, I mean, you build a relationship, you become, something like, a big brother to them, and those relationships, they last on to the league. You know what I'm saying? Like they have all these big moments. So it's like you got the NFL draft,
right?
So, hey, at the same time they're calling their stylist, they're bringing their barber, they're bringing a stylist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, my first taste was 2017.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about that, man. That was in Philly. I posted a story on Instagram just not too long ago when a reporter asked Jamal on the red carpet, like, man, your fade is tight. Who did that thing? I know that made you really feel good to have him mention all that.
At that particular time, now I'm already like, man, I'm in Philly. I'm at the draft, so I'm really seeing the behind the scenes. Like, what's really going on.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the fans, everything going crazy. It's just like you see on TV. You know what I'm saying? So at this particular time, I wasn't with Jamal because I had to go into the stands.
Right.
So Jamal, they always on the red carpet.
Right.
So everybody at home, they back home watching it, and my phone just started going off. Hey, he shouted you out on TV. He shouted, I'm like, who you talking about? Who you talking about? But that was a plug that, man, like Twitter, like everybody went crazy. I don't know. It was something about that haircut, that hairstyle he had.
Right.
That fade, it was just like they went crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty much why I went with you, man, when I was at because you know me, I get tape on the sides, tape on the back, to a little down the front, you know what I'm saying? You know how to do it and give me a sponge or whatever. You was real precise with that thing. That was one of the reasons why I went with you, man. So do you suggest like certain like hairstyles or cuts for guys if they kind of thinking about changing their looks up a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. Jamal is the one. Like he always, like even if, hey man, look, hey, I need a barber, man. I'm in Seattle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm in, like, I can't get to you. Like, find me a barber here, find me a barber there.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Like when I think before you got here, Jamal used to rock a
Mohawk, right?
Mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mohawk. You know, and you know he wanted a new style. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to cut it off. So I would be like, look, I think you should go with the mid fade, not too high, like we used to do it. You know, stuff like that. So just recently, during the pandemic, he wanted to fly me out to Dallas to change his hairstyle again.
Right.
But it didn't really work out.
Right.
You know,
it's lower now. It's lower now,
yeah,
right?
It's lower. Yeah, it's lower, and the fade is a little bit lower than you know we used to have it high and tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, all the time, man. We go through it. It's him, Got y'all, just a bunch of those guys, man. Yeah.
That's cool, man. This is TJ Malveaux, owner of the Picks Barbershop out in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, celebrity barber and all that. If you have any questions for him, go and drop it in the comment section. Now, TJ, you done cut a lot of guys, man, over the years, man. Was there anybody you were starstruck over?
I would say I would say it was a trip for Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Michael Vick. Yeah. Vick, that was something different. That was a different experience, man. Like, and the way we were in like a hotel room. You know what I mean? But when I first saw him, it was like, man, this Vick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this Vick, bro. Like, so, there wasn't anybody that I came through, like through college, but yeah, Vick, I had to say I was a little bit kind of starstruck.
What was the conversation like? I know y'all was talking a little bit while you was, because he gets the taper, so I'm pretty sure that didn't take too long, but I know y'all had a pretty good conversation. What was that like?
Yeah, he was real cool, man. I ended up cutting him 2 times. It was 2 weeks back to back that I ended up cutting him. I cut him in Orlando and I cut him in Miami. And he was real laid back, just like you see him on TV. Real cool, laid back. At first, he didn't really say too much, and I was like, "Look, Vic, man." I said, "Man, I'm always the type of guy that I'm hesitant on the pictures. I'm hesitant on because there's a lot of pictures that I done let pass me by that I wish I would have got.
Yeah.
But with Vic, I
had to get that.
He was like, "Man, look, man. Hey, I know you gotta, get your stuff right, man. It's cool." But he was real cool. And then he even asked me, he was like, "Man, you coming to the Pro Bowl next week?" Yeah. And I was really on the edge. I was like, "Man, I don't know if I'm going, but yeah, I'm gonna think about it. I'll probably be there."
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool, man, because I'm gonna need another cut because he had to go. So I made it to Miami. You know.
You had to get there. That's dope, man. That's dope, man.
It's about building relationships, man.
Absolutely. I mean, I know you really big on that, especially with the guys that's come through your shop daily, even with guys like Russell Gage and Jacoby Phillips and all those guys, especially and Skylar Mays that's about to go to the NBA right now. I know you built a really good relationship with all those guys.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Skylar's I like Skylar's a good guy.
That's good, man. This is TJ Malveaux, owner and barber of Picks Barbershop out there in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. TJ, man, you a really big community pillar within the Baton Rouge area, and I know you have a lot of day ones. So how do you balance, your regulars and your athletes that want you to fly them out on their particular times? I know it's tough because I know your style sheet is booked like 5 months in advance.
Yeah, and a lot of athletes don't understand that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like I have this online booking system. People booking weeks in advance.
Yeah.
And it's like you got not only LSU, you got Southern University. You even got BRCC athletes. Like they all trying to come in. And you know what I'm saying? It's real tough, but I try my best to make it happen, and it sometimes I can't. But when I have to fly out, what I would do, I would just basically kind of cancel a part of my schedule.
Yeah.
And I find out when the flight is. I mean, say if I had to fly out like at 2:00, I probably stop cutting about 11. 11 I shoot to New Orleans. Come back. It's a lot of those flights were turnaround trips. I spent a few nights, but I just take off, come back. I make it up maybe on that Sunday or that Monday. Cut the people that I had to cancel. It worked out pretty good last year.
That's good, man. That's good, man. If y'all have any questions for TJ, go and drop it in the comment section. I got a couple more till we get to a couple of them. How has COVID, affected your business in terms of? I know the state was shut down for a little bit. I know that affected your business, but I know you pretty much got back on track and everything.
Yeah. It took a hit, for those few months that we were out. Definitely.
Right.
I mean, because the type of money we make. I mean, it's mostly cash. You know what I mean? But like when we don't work, we don't eat.
Right.
So when the clippers turn off, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So, but when we were able to come back, man, it actually picked right back up.
That's good.
Didn't miss a beat, but it was tough for those few months. You know what I'm saying? Especially for the people that didn't put money aside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know you posted a video about that. Nice little video.
Yeah. I try my best to help the younger barbers, even the barbers my age that's kind of struggle with it. It's kind of tough being a barber, man. I mean, it's good to say, oh, I work for myself, but you got to be disciplined. You know what I mean? You got to have everything in order because you got to be ready for stuff like that.
Understandable, man. So I got a question from my man Langston out here in Dallas. His question is, have you cut any ESPN anchors who came to town for game day or via referral or anybody like that?
Yeah, ESPN anchors. One time a guy, I can't remember his name, he's this quarterback guru guy. He hit me up. There's a lot of people that hit me up, but I sometimes I can't get to all of them. But no, I can't recall of any ESPN anchors.
Okay.
I hope I'm not forgetting nobody.
My man Rick out of Baltimore, Maryland, he said, how popular is the topic installation in Baton Rouge?
Highly. Hey, these guys won't get a haircut without that stuff, man. They need it. They want it. You know what I mean? Hey, they want it, bro. They want it. Hey, because they're in the media. I don't think people realize these guys are in the media. Like, even the local news, you know what I mean? Like, after practice, they're doing media. You know? So it's like they want that topic, bro. That topic, I gotta have topic.
Gotta have. Hey, I think even when I was out there, you was on that. I was on that topic heavy. You know what I mean? I think TC. Yeah, there you go, right there.
I gotta have the topic, man. And that's I got more than my hands can hold, but man.
Golly, hey, that topic make it clean though. That definition, you spray that stuff on there, it comes straight out, man.
Hey, but I gotta get on the spray. A lot of the guys in the shop, they got the spray. You know what I mean? I got the gun, the air gun.
Oh, you got the gun?
I don't have it. They have it, but I didn't get on it.
Oh, you just got the air thing. The air thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got. I got to graduate to the big boys. You know what I mean?
Man, that thing got an engine on there, man. That thing too loud though, boy. It's so loud.
No, they got the little small one. They got the
small one now?
Yeah, they got the little small one. It don't make no noise like that.
Hey, another question from my man. This is the last one, right? He said, "Can the topic bring back anybody's hairline?" I don't think.
Oh. Only temporary, man. Only temporary.
TJ, man, thanks for joining me, man. This is dope, man. I'll rap with you once I wrap up the show, okay, man?
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, no problem.
Yeah. All right, that was my man and former barber, TJ Malveaux out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, owner and barber at a Picks Barbershop down there in the booth. So coming up next is my last guest is my homegirl, Tiff The Zeta, straight out of Pleasant Grove, Dallas, down here in Texas. One of my great friends. I met her last year, I believe, and we built a really good relationship in terms of collabing on a lot of different types of projects. I take care of video. She handles the stylist aspect and everything. So go ahead and add her right now. Jill, what's up, girl?
What's the
Chilling. You look real fly over there, boy.
You know what? I mean, you said I was coming in, so I said, let me come on in. Come on in the room. Hold on, let me get it set up right so y'all can see.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Looking like a Texas Tech Red Raider out
here. I forgot I was gonna be under
here. What's going on, Tiff? You doing okay?
I'm well. How are you? You look great. Your lighting is everything.
Hey, this Anya's ring light. You know this thing kicking.
Baby,
You know
that thing is kicking.
Right, y'all. This is Tiff The Zeta, man, straight out of Pleasant Grove, Dallas, Texas. Go and tell them where you're from, Tiff.
Hey, you guys know where I'm from. I'm from the one and only Grove side 6'5". You understand me? If you don't know, you need to make sure you figure it out. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Right. So, Tiff, you're a celebrity stylist, man. I know you definitely enjoy that. You are one of the swaggiest women or people I know, period, in terms of just what you wear. You imagine just coming up with creative ideas. So, congratulations on all the success and all the just whatever you've accomplished throughout your career doing this.
Thank you tremendously. Thank you so much.
No problem. So, how we met doing a video last year for Toast for Charity. I actually posted it on my Instagram story. We did it at a mall out in North Dallas somewhere, and I did a nice little video of her just kind of matching suits, a pair of Air Maxes, whatever, getting ready for the Toast for Charity sneaker ball. So shout out to Lamar and that whole crew out that way.
Absolutely, Lamar is the guy. Absolutely.
Yes, he is. So as a celebrity stylist, Tiff, you know, why is your role so important when it comes to styling these athletes when they're getting ready for road trips and games and all that kind of stuff?
You know what? That's a very good question, because a lot of individuals don't understand that being in that position as an athlete, they see you before they see you actually do whatever you are called to do.
Right.
So your presentation is everything first. So if you see, they always have pictures of, the NBA pregame, and also postgame, because that's most important. They want to see what you are wearing.
Right.
The content that you're presenting, the gear, the luxury lifestyle. They want to see it. And also a lot of them are want to gain endorsements, which is the most important thing.
Right.
As to why my job is important. You have media day, you have, of course, photos, you have, so many different reasons why you got to be fly. That's just,
I know that for a fact, because I know me from a videographer standpoint and doing photography, like just working in sports. That everybody loves them airport shots. They on the runway, that kind of thing, getting on the plane. So you already know that suit, them shoes, your luggage game, your shades, your hat. I know you know how to style all that kind of stuff too.
Everything has to be together. I'm saying from every accessory, and it's serious. It's serious. It's serious. I mean, a lot of guys, have never ever put a suit on, let alone even put any clothes on. But you get all this money, from work, and it's like, oh, okay, well, what do I do with it? Okay, well, here we go. You got to make sure your presentation is what you're trying to exemplify as far as your brand. Because at the end of the day, yes, you are playing on this team, but you also have to brand yourself, and you also have to make sure that you model whatever you're trying to portray, whatever that may be. So
exactly.
It's big. It's big.
It definitely is big. This is Tiff The Zeta, straight out of Pleasant Grove, Dallas, joining me right here on Crunch Time. She's a celebrity stylist. So, Tiff, how'd you get your start in? Come on, man. How did you get your start in this business?
Oh my goodness. To be honest, I don't have a grand story. I was out being around a few celebrities, and they enjoyed my wardrobe, and were like, "Hey, I need you." Yada yada, and really the rest is history. I mean, they started flying me out everywhere you could think of, and God has been truly amazing. And it's like, I really feel like I'm still living a dream. People say, I'm proud of you, and it's like, I'm so grateful, but I can have so much more to do. You know what I mean? I have so much more to do, and it's been truly a blessing, to say the least. Seriously.
That's great, man. So what exactly is your goal when you're styling a particular client? I know you want to make them turn heads, but you want to be like, okay, where'd you get that type of outfit, that kind of stuff? I know it's a lot goes into what you try to do.
I want every client to have a trend. So
okay.
I look at it as if, I am a painter, right? So you're going to always have an empty canvas. I never go in with a mindset, okay, well, what, she may want to wear a hat. okay, of course, everybody know that is my trend. You know, no, not at all. I'm going to come in with an empty canvas, and I'm going to listen to my client to see what he or she wants, and then I gain and give them my expertise as far as wardrobe. Every time, it's an empty canvas.
So an empty canvas, so that would mean like, okay, I see, like, okay, I might throw on some white shoes or, you know, some high yellow pants or anything like that. And I know that kind of stuff is what you like to do with your particular whoever you're working with, skin tone, that kind of stuff.
All of that matters. So that's why it has to be empty canvas, because I don't know what I'm dealing with until it's actually in front of me. And then we can kind of go into, you know, you got to understand, so a lot of people who do come into wanting to book with Styled by Tiff The Zeta, just period, they have so many different elements to what they have going on. You have some individuals who are dealing with weight loss, dealing with divorce, dealing with, we'll say just had a baby. So it's bigger than fashion. Now, if you're getting into this because you like clothes, it got to be better than that. It got to be bigger than that. Because you're dealing with people, you have to build relationships. That's one thing my daddy taught me, is to make sure you are building relationships. It's going to carry you a long way.
Absolutely, absolutely. So in your opinion, how does an athlete maximize his brand based off of what he wears? Like, what do you think about that?
The individual has to have a whole lot of drip. So you can have, I'm serious.
I know.
Because I could put you on, you know, I could put you on some Baileys, you know, put you on Louis Vuitton, put you on, I mean, anything in reference to luxury wardrobe. But if you don't have a drip, it means nothing. You know what I mean? So it means nothing, because you look goofy and you're fired up.
Right.
So you gotta have that confidence, man. And then I'm also gonna help you gain that confidence and show you, like, okay, well, let me show you how to, you know, kind of tweak it a little bit, how to, you know, go ahead, a little wink to the side, you know what I mean? How you hold the bag right when you are walking, doing a lifestyle look. So y'all, it's tremendously important. So it's a lot that goes into it. A lot I don't even show, because it's a lot that go into it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, no, I know, because just a quick story about us. When I did a photo shoot for when I was featured in the that Dallas magazine. So shout out to Pip. I know she's watching right now. She did the photos, but you were there voluntarily. I didn't even know you was going to be there. And you definitely coached me how to do that kind of stuff. Because you know me, I ain't really the photogenic type of guy, you know what I mean? So if you see those photos, that was all you making me do all that stuff, because I don't even know how to pose.
And
I don't know how to do none of that stuff.
You did good, son.
No, thank you. Thank you. If y'all have any questions for Tiff, go and drop it in the comment section. We actually have one for you right now from my man Rick, my line brother out of Baltimore, Maryland. He says, how important is confidence when trying to pull off a look like Westbrook or Cam Newton?
Say it again. I didn't hear the last part. Let me try.
He said, how important is confidence when you're trying to pull off a look like Russell Westbrook and also Cam Newton?
You got to have it. That's the main thing I just talked about. You got to have confidence, because those guys, they can literally do whatever they want to do because of their confidence. And individuals are going to flock to it because they're confident.
Right.
Literally. So right now, I know I could probably throw on, if I was to come on here with a mink jacket on and threw this hat on, I mean, you know what I mean? Y'all would be like, man, it's summertime. Going to party. I'm like, hey, but she fly though. You know what I mean? It's the confidence. It's going to always over exceed anybody's expectations.
Yeah. Tiff, I was going to ask you, what's your, like, describe your passion for me, because obviously you're very energetic, you're very passionate about it, but you know, where does that come from? You know what I mean? Because I know just seeing you right now, your face is lighting up, and you just being around each other doing various gigs. You know, where does your passion come from behind fashion and styling people?
Man, I love people. I love people. I love to see a change, and I think that's a good change, if that makes sense. Because before this, I was also a social worker for 7 years, so I dealt with mental health. I dealt with so many different issues, from depression to schizophrenia to bipolar, MDD. So I dealt with all those issues, and people don't understand that wardrobe and confidence, man, it goes a long way. Some people won't even go outside, or will stay in, and won't even socialize with peers because of their wardrobe, because they don't look presentable, or they're being made fun of, or they have issues in the past where, you know, their friends have talked about them even as adults. You know what I mean? So it helps you find your you and your why. So,
I love that, Tiff. That was perfect. That's perfect. Now, you do a little bit of music on the side, too. So tell me a little bit about that, Tiff.
I am a drummer. I am a female drummer, a percussionist. So I play everything in percussion. If you want to get these chops, holler at me because I'm ready. I can read music, all of it. So, yeah, don't get it twisted. Yeah.
Tiff, man, you know I'm gonna holler at you because I used to play drums back in the day. That was wild when I was like 5 or 6.
Oh yeah. That's a bad.
I don't even count that. I don't even count that, man. So Tiff, man, I think I'm gonna wrap this up right now. So everything good with you out there? You know, getting set and everything.
Awesome. Everything's
great.
awesome.
That's great. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said I haven't missed a beat. But I do want to inspire and just say a few words to those who are watching who want to get into wardrobe and fashion. Hey guys, as long as you believe and you're striving to make that, I promise you're going to see exactly where you need to go. Stay committed, stay focused, pay your tithes. I'm gonna say it again: pay your tithes, pay your
10%.
That 10%. So believe, strive, and you will succeed.
Actually, this question just popped in my mind. With COVID happening, like, how are you able to still be able to style celebrities and athletes when you can't really be around each other like that?
Man, a whole lot of virtual conversations, virtual meetings, and a lot of shipping and handling has been going on. But I have not missed a beat. And the crazy thing that you asked that question is that I have doubled my clientele since pre-COVID.
Really?
I've doubled, and I wasn't even expecting this at all. I promise you.
Right.
Like, I've been so busy where I'm trying to play catch up. Like, now, are we still in the pandemic? You know what's going on? Because I'm trying to. I can't move like I normally would. You know, I jump on the flight and, you know, I come back and I do a turnaround flight and be back here. You know what I mean? But it has been, like I said, I can't complain. And I will be a fool to sit up here and complain and say God has not been blessing me, because he truly has. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all better stay tuned because I'm coming for y'all. I promise you. I'm in this thing.
Tiff, your business done doubled during COVID. You killing it. I can't even fool with you. I can't even touch you. Can't even touch you. Tiff, thank you so much for joining me, man. This is great. We'll wrap a little bit later on tonight. You know, just kind of catch up with everything, okay?
Absolutely. Love you so much.
We got a question before we get out of here. Somebody just popped in. Rico, he said, have you looked into customizing pieces?
Stay tuned. You'll be seeing my first release of my pants coming soon. So yes, I have been. So stay tuned.
Just give you a stay tuned. Y'all better be on the lookout for that.
That's all I'm gonna say. Just stay tuned. I have so much that I can't say.
Yeah.
But you guys will see soon. That's
awesome, man. Make sure y'all follow Tiff on Instagram. At Tiff The Zeta. The brand is huge. She works with a lot of people. She posts really good content throughout her feed on a daily basis. So she does a great job with all that she does. Tiff, thank you so much. We'll wrap a little bit later on, okay?
Thank you so much. All right.
All right now. Yep. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me for episode 4 of the Crunch Time Instagram Live podcast. Thank you to Chanelle Smith. Thank you to TJ Malveaux, and also Tiff The Zeta, who just wrapped up the show, man. As for next week, I'm not sure what angle I'm trying to go. Still brainstorming on that. Once I figure it out, obviously you guys will be the first to know the day before the show comes out. So also make sure y'all follow the Crunch Time Instagram Live podcast on Spotify and also Apple Podcasts. Make sure you look that up, hit that follow button, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. And if y'all have any suggestions for me, how I can make the show better, how I'm doing with the show, go ahead and drop that in the comment section. DM me, do whatever you need to do, and I'll greatly appreciate that. So for the Crunch Time Instagram Live podcast, I'm your host, Benjamin Bullock. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll see y'all next week. I'll let y'all.